What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of The Jump. A off-season episode with college football and college basketball kind of incorporated all together, and a little college baseball because Omaha starts tomorrow. A lot to talk about, and the biggest change in college sports history just happened last Friday, so we'll talk about that as well. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get straight into it. So we'll start with college football. There's a playoff expansion. So this has been a thing that's been in the news for weeks after weeks, months after months now. 12 team, we've literally just done it one time. Doing it next year, and then it's probably going to 16. So that would mean already this year going into the the second year of the 12 team playoff, auto buys are gone. This is what we've been begging for. It would have avoided a lot of just chaos last year, and it would have made last year's playoff a whole lot better than it was. Auto buys are gone. That's perfect. Boise State does not deserve a bye, and I love that they're gone. But the problem, I guess not a problem, but the thing with the 16 is it's the 5 conference winners, like how it was, and then it's just 11. But there's a structure that they're going to go about it that the SEC and Big Ten are kind of leading the charge with, that would make it to where guaranteed, no matter what, no matter how good or how many teams deserve to be in, it would be 4 SEC teams, 4 Big Ten teams, 2 ACC, 2 Big 12, 1 G5, and then 3 at large. So it could be more SEC teams, it could be more ACC, more Big 12, more G5, whatever. It's crazy that there's a format to where it just basically says the ACC and Big 12 just suck when... Yeah, SMU didn't do great, but Clemson had a decent showing in the playoff, lost to Texas, but and then Arizona State puts up a good fight in the playoff, and I think the ACC and Big 12 should they deserve more credit than they've been given. I don't think they're on the same level as the SEC and Big 10, but that doesn't matter. That's not what we're talking about. So it is kind of chaos at this point, but and then the SEC and Big 10 could have play-in games, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. That's just another level of chaos that I'll probably dive in. I'll probably honestly just do an entire playoff episode at some point, and I'll get more into it. But keeping it college football, Mike Leach was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. This is a few weeks ago. They lowered the winning percentage from 60% to 59.5%. I love it. Mike Leach, my GOAT, legend. He deserves to be in. It shouldn't be how much you win. It should be how much you impact. What he did to the college game and how much he impacted the game well deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame. There's one problem, though. One thing that bothers me, just get rid of the win percentage entirely. Like, now there's going to be some other coach that comes by that maybe doesn't deserve it as much as Mike Leach did, but there's going to be a 59.4, and there's going to be somebody that's like, man, that guy deserves to be in. They should have just dropped it. I don't understand. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter how much you win. It matters how much you impact. It should not matter. His win percentage is bad because of where he was. Texas Tech, Washington State, and Mississippi State. Like, that's the reason. But well-deserved. Shout out to the Pirate. Rest in peace. We miss you every day. Absolute legend. So that was huge news. I was super excited to see that a couple weeks back. And then I'll talk real quick. I'm going to give my quick, honest reactions because I haven't even looked at these yet. I had a friend send me these. And I'm just going to give my honest review without even looking at the schedule, because throughout the summer we will get into schedules for select teams. But right now I'm doing this without even thinking of the schedule in my mind. SEC teams over and under win totals. So this is brought to us by FanDuel Sportsbook. All of the 16 SEC teams. Let's go through the win totals. So, all right, they have it in order from the most wins to the least. So, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, all are 9.5. I think Alabama goes under that. I know they play at Georgia, night game. I posted about that today. And I'm not sure how good this Alabama team is going to be. They might be starting a true freshman at quarterback. Ryan Williams is obviously absolutely elite, but like, what else is the team bringing that gets you super fired up as a college football fan? I think they go under 9.5. Georgia, over. I am big on the redemption tour, Kirby Smart train right here. I just think this team's gonna be awesome this year. And also, I'm outside of the Georgia fan base, I'm probably the biggest Nate Frazier fan in the world. So I think they get 10 wins at least. That they have obviously a brutal schedule too, but I think they get 10 wins. Texas, I think they get 10 wins as well. Not going to be easy, especially week 1 being at Ohio State. But I think they can win that game. And I am a Arch believer. It's so funny looking at the media because it's all in on Arch or all the way against him. And I am part of the all in. There's a little hesitancy, but I'm not like in the middle or anything. I'm all in. Super excited to see Arch. LSU, Ole Miss, and Tennessee all tied at 8.5 for their over-under win total. I will go LSU over. Super big fan of LSU here. They start with Clemson, I believe. Yeah, I think they go over 8.5. Ole Miss under 8.5. I think they probably get 8 wins. Tennessee under 8.5. There's nothing. I don't even know who they're going to be throwing the ball to. So Joey Aguilar, welcome to Rocky Top, but you don't have receivers. Maybe there's someone that's sneaky and then going to end up being good for Tennessee, but I don't see a world where that offense is even remotely close. Like losing Dylan Sampson, one of the best SEC running backs in the last decade. Yeah, I just think they're under. So LSU over, Ole Miss, and Tennessee under. There are 4 teams at 7.5: Auburn, Missouri, South Carolina, and Texas A&M. I'm going to go Auburn under. I think they go 7-5. I think they have a really good team this year. I'm excited to watch them, but I'm going to go under just to keep it at 7-5. Missouri under. Big fan of Bo Prapula, but and honestly, crazy running back room. They're going to be good. I think I'm going under. I think I'm going to go under. Then South Carolina over. I think they go 8-4. I'm not as high on them as some people in the media are, but I think they'll be a very good team. I'm going to go over 7.5. Texas A&M over 7.5. I think they also get to 8 wins. Now, some of these, obviously, I got to look at the schedule and see, but I think A&M ends up stealing that game in South Bend. Notre Dame went down there, stole it, and now A&M's going to go do it back. So, excited for that one. 2 teams at 6.5, Florida and Oklahoma. I think both. Gosh, I just know Florida's schedule is crazy. I know it's not last year when we looked at it in the preseason, but man, I think they're both over. I think they both get to 7 wins. I'm so excited to watch Oklahoma. That team's going to be. I'm one of the biggest John Mateer fans in the country too. I would say, like, I'm so excited to watch these guys play. Arkansas 5.5. I think under. I think they go 5-7. Obviously this is FanDuel, so they're very, very accurate with their win totals. That's why these are tough to pick. I think they go under that. I think there's 2 teams at 4.5. It's Kentucky and Vanderbilt. I think Kentucky gets to 5 wins. I know there's 3 like kind of bad teams, and I think they can beat Vandy. I think they can beat Ole Miss, and I think they can get to 5. Vandy, I'm also going over. I think they can get to 5. Mississippi State 3.5. If they don't get over that, I don't understand what's happened at this point. Like, surely, they've got they're going over that. Year 2, yeah, I'm going over. So that's my over/under win totals. That was kind of chaotic, but I am doing this without looking at the schedule, and like I said, I'll look at that in the future, but that's for later in the summer. So we'll get into that later. College World Series. I mentioned we'll talk about baseball a little bit. For the first time since 1957, all 8 teams that reached Omaha in 2024 failed to advance to the College World Series in 2025. Yeah, it's awesome to see. It is a lot of new blood, but there's some kind of old blood that's like a welcome back. Teams that have been around very, very recently, LSU, Arkansas, Oregon State, Louisville, all those teams have been around very, very recently. But some fun teams, Coastal Carolina, Murray State. Murray is the story of the postseason baseball so far. Like having to win the game twice because they call the double play because there's an interference or whatever. And then they said, no interference, play again. And then they get the other out. So they dogpile twice. it's incredible to see what Murray State's doing. They're super fun to watch. They just score a stupid amount of runs. And they get to play an absolute wagon from Westwood, UCLA. So they'll have a tough matchup right off rip. But we have Arizona versus Coastal Carolina, Louisville versus Oregon State, Murray State versus UCLA, and LSU versus Arkansas. So this is a stacked field. It's going to be super fun to watch. And like I said, I am uploading this. It's almost midnight when I'm recording this, so by the time this is uploaded, the games will be today. So, excited to watch Omaha. It's going to be amazing. College basketball. The biggest news recently is the matchups are officially set for the 2025 ACC SEC Challenge. Per John Rothstein, he's the one that put it out. We get Florida at Duke, North Carolina at Kentucky, NC State at Auburn, Louisville at Arkansas. So those are the ones that I'm really like, all right, yes, love it, love it. This is why we love the challenge. This is amazing. Now, to fill out the rest of it, you have Virginia at Texas, Clemson at Bama, Oklahoma at Wake Forest, SMU at Vanderbilt, Texas A&M at Pitt, Mississippi State at Georgia Tech, Miami at Ole Miss. That one's going to be a fun one. LSU at Boston College. Gross. Virginia Tech at South Carolina. Tennessee at Syracuse. Missouri at Notre Dame. Excited for that one. And then Georgia at Florida State. So I can't wait for all of this. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Yeah, that's always just a fun challenge anyways. I think the Kentucky North Carolina has already been announced for December 2nd. So it's going to be fun, as always. And then some of these are just kind of repeats, like Clemson, Bama. I'd be interested if it was the first time. Tennessee at Syracuse, it was literally last year. They just flipped locations. But outside of that, super fun. Also in the world of college basketball, there's a chance that they move to quarters from how it's been halves for as long as I can remember. So there's part of me that likes it, part of me that doesn't like it. The part of me that doesn't like it is the fact that it's been halves my whole life, and I've been such a fan of this sport that, like, basically, I'm not an old man yelling at clouds, but I'm in a way that where I'm like, just don't touch my sport. But it needs change. It's the only level of basketball. It worked for women's when they go to quarters, and I think it needs to happen at this point. So that'll probably happen. It hasn't been official yet, but that'll probably happen. The changes that have happened to the rule book, allowing challenges to review out-of-bounds calls and goaltending/basket interference calls. So I don't think they're going to have the red flag how they do on the gridiron, but they're going to have challenges. So that's going to be super fun. And then modifying the rule on continuous motion on shot attempts. If a player is finishing a move beyond the act of shooting, they will be rewarded with the foul. I love this. Yes, it's going to be closer to the NBA, which a lot of people don't necessarily love, but I absolutely love it because I come from a background of where I used to play basketball, now I coach basketball. There are so many times that the game, an official blows the whistle, and it's just like, man, this guy was halfway through a creative move, ends up finishing it, and they call it on the floor, and you got to inbound it. It's just the most annoying whistle, and seeing them point to the floor and not saying count it, it's just the worst. So, I love that. I love that so much. It allows more creativity. It will create for more of a free-flowing offensive game, and more points. Who doesn't love more points? So, yeah, I'm excited for both of those. And then, like I said, they'll probably go from halves to quarters very, very soon. The House settlement with the NCAA has officially gone through. This was last Friday. Like I said, it's probably the biggest change in college sports ever. As of July 1st, schools will be able to pay players directly. So that is basically the summarization of the entire thing. Schools can now pay players. It's not just some donor that's just giving billions of dollars to these to these programs and just saying, hey, use it however you want. Now, there's like some actual, it makes sense now. Like, it's shared revenue. It's going to be amazing. And the one interesting point is $2.8 billion in back payments for players who competed between 2016 and 2024. So they're about to be paying these college athletes that played in the last few years. It's going to be amazing. Obviously, I did not play in that time frame, but or I didn't play like D1 or whatever, so like I won't be getting it. But it's so cool to just see like some of these people that deserve it get their money. It's going to be awesome. the model that most people are following, this will not be, for those of y'all that don't know, I'm a Kentucky fan. For those of y'all that have seen this, this will be 95% of programs will follow this model. They'll give 75% of the shared revenue to football, 15% to men's basketball, 5% to women's basketball, and then 5% sprinkled amongst other sports. I don't think Kentucky's going to do that. I think Kentucky's probably going to do, 60 football and then like 25 basketball. I don't know what it's going to be. But I think also Mitch Barnhart, the athletic director at Kentucky, he was very, very firm on the fact of, like, I don't want to be I don't want to have to be watched over and all this. I want just free-flowing and flexibility year by year, where if there is a like 2 5-stars, like this year from the state of Kentucky, Jasper Johnson, Malachi Marino, like if there needs to be a little bit more NIL money to make sure they stay home, give them an opportunity for that. So like that type of thing, Kentucky wants the flexibility to be able to do. And so that's kind of the model most people are doing is 75% football, 15% men's basketball, 5% women's basketball, 5% other sports. But for schools, probably like, I don't even know who the best example for this would be. I don't know, maybe Mississippi State, like Arkansas. Maybe they do 75% football, 15% men's basketball, 5% baseball, and then 5% sprinkled among the other sports, whatever it is. But it'll be something similar to that. That's kind of just the model that people have used. So when I say shared revenue, each school is allowed to distribute $20.5 million across its sports however they want. Like I said, for Kentucky and some other schools, I mean, I would say Duke and Kansas would probably give a whole lot more to basketball than they would to like football or whatever. But yeah, they'll get to just kind of have that money and they get to pay them however. So it's a little bit more structure, and there's finally just some like rules to this whole NIL thing, and it's not the wild, wild west anymore. The revenue sharing cap will increase by at least 4% each year for 10 years to as high as $32.9 million in 2034-2035 sports season. So I absolutely love it. I think it's so nice to finally have just, like I said, structure with the sport. And I'm always kind of players first. They deserve the money. They should get the money that they deserve. And it's going to be amazing now that there's actual, like, it's not just Joe Schmo that owns this company giving all this money to this random kid. Now it's the school paying the players directly instead of all of the chaos. So now this is going to be more like actually what NIL was formed to be. The only thing that makes this interesting is schools like any Big East school. Like UConn is going to be able to spend so much because they don't care about football. St. John's doesn't have football. So like those schools are probably going to spend a little bit more. So I think that's going to get interesting. But some of those schools like Xavier, for example, they don't have football, but they probably won't be able to raise enough to where like their salary cap and revenue sharing cap or whatever is like the same amount. So I think it'll all even itself out, and I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's the biggest decision in a very, very long time, and it's also probably the best decision in a very, very long time. So, yeah, the House settlement, it is here, and it's what we've all been waiting for. So I'm super excited to have that. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. So that'll start July 1st. So less than a month from now, it'll be around. So I think that'll just about do it for this episode. Another offseason episode. Like I said, I'll probably end up doing like a playoff expansion, playoff tutorial type thing overall at some point. But basically right now, just know the auto buys are gone. So we all rejoice because of that. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoy Omaha. Hope you enjoy the weekend. This is a late episode or late uploaded episode. So thank you for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy Omaha, and just have all the fun you can. Peace.